Hello, hello, hello. No. Yes. Okay. Hello. Welcome to the Beyond the Sum of Our Parts. Today is a lovely day. All right, I'm Mike Blue, and with my lovely host Jordan. Let's get the elephant out of the room. Yes, the face has been shaved. When you lack control of certain things, you just do what you can with the control you have. So, well, with that being said, I went the whole shopping over the face. One with the smooth head, I exfoliate and moisturize very well. With that being said, today we have an interesting conversation for the topic. Jordan, please explain what this topic is.
Today, we are diving deep into beyond monogamy, talking about polyamory, non-monogamy, or whatever you want to call it. We're diving in. Yes.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, for those that have a faint of heart, please still tune in. Those who do not have a faint of heart, please also still tune in. Right. If you have any questions, comments, and concerns, please, we are always accepting phone calls, conversations, text, emails, all of these great things. So please feel free to text me, Jordan, or the group, or on YouTube, Instagram.
Yes.
We also have a Twitter now. So
And the
feel free to
link to
follow us.
chime in live is in the comments, so click on it.
And the link to chime in live is in the comments. So please talk to us. Come in. If you want, you can always call and then we'll throw you in the mix with us.
You will.
All right. So let's get it going. Jordan, how do one deal with these kind of feelings of that monogamy and polyamorous lifestyle kind of talking point, so to speak? I know I have my own thoughts and feelings behind it, but let's go with you because you're normally asking the question. So today I'm asking you.
You just kind of threw a curveball on me. Okay. So, what are my thoughts and feelings about polyamory, non-monogamy, monogamy? Okay. So, I personally believe that there are like three primary types of people in the world. The first type of person is strictly monogamous. They cannot function outside of a monogamous relationship. It has to be one-on-one. Anything else is just too much. I don't have the energy to pour into any other relationships. The second type of person is polyamorous or non-monogamous, whatever you want to call it, but theirs is strictly based on commitment. It's not like I just want to sleep with anybody and everybody. Like, we have this connection, but I have this connection with multiple people and I want to be in a intimate, deep relationship with those multiple people, right? And then the third type of person is not, in my opinion, designed for like a committed relationship. They should just date for the rest of their lives because they don't have the energy to give to one person or multiple people consistently, right? Their job is to like give to everybody. They just pour out to everybody and then they go home and they're by themselves. Like that's what I believe. Okay. In my experience, I've come across all three of those types of people. And so I truly believe that monogamy isn't for everybody. Like I said, religion likes to push on us that monogamy is the only way and it's, God's design and blah, blah, blah. But I wholeheartedly disagree with that. I think that there is space for polyamory, and I truly believe that love should be unconditional. And if that's the case, then if I'm somebody and I love multiple people, how are you going to push me into this monogamous dynamic that isn't designed for me? But with that being said, like I said, there are also people that are just straight up monogamous. Like I can't do nothing else. This is me. But it comes back to, and we were having this conversation the other day, Mike, it comes back to meeting your needs, right? And we talked about this on another podcast. Like, I believe that there isn't one person in the world that can meet every single one of your needs. But the difference between monogamy and polyamory and all the other subsects of that is that the people who are designed to be monogamous, their primary person, their partner, will meet their primary needs. And then they can have friends that meet all the secondary things. And then if you're polyamorous, you have multiple people that meet your primary needs, right? And so that's the difference. Like, there isn't just one person. So does that answer the question?
That does answer the question. It's I took a breath on the last one because when you're talking about the people that need to be alone, all they do is date and they like build and pour in people and then they go home alone. And that I was like, oh my god, she's speaking my life right now. Jesus. Oh my god. No, like literally. I agree with you on all of the things you're saying, and I also have a I agree and understand everything you're saying. Um I was talking to a friend of mine the other day about my recent feelings and emotions of someone new, right? And I was like, my view on polyamorous, or basically the version of where I date people and I tell this, listen, as long as we're together, I don't care what goes on.
Yeah.
It's you know what I mean. My number one rule is don't come back pregnant. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You gonna do you always, but when you around me, as long as you treat me how I'm supposed to be treated,
Right.
make me the way that I'm supposed to be treated, I don't care what goes on, right?
Right.
And that has been the premise of my thought and being for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
Mhm. Even though I may not communicate to some people very strongly, and my emotional connection with people may seem like, oh, quote unquote, I'm ready to get married yesterday. Nah, that ain't it. I may be married to you emotionally, but not ring on the finger, court, marriage, paper on documentation. No, emotionally, yes, not so much, right? So, in talking to my friend about this, it was like, I've always been that way, right? And then I realized when I came across this person that my being of that person has changed. And then
Yeah.
it made me question. I was like, could there be a reason for me to feel this way? Could this person be the one person that has always made me desire to be this way with this individual?
Right.
And it was like my whole entire time, I'm like, yo, you got a boyfriend and a husband, but with this individual, I'm like, nah, that ain't it. No, listen, we good. It's just you, me, sit, nobody else.
Right.
Before, like I said, I'd be like, yo, people would be like, so what if your girl cheated on me? Yeah, what if your wife cheated on you? Man, listen, at the end of the day, she got a boyfriend and a husband now. Tell that dude, rent's due on the
Right.
phone. Let's keep it moving. As long as she ain't treat me different and the relationship and the marriage is good, I don't care. But with this new person, technically they're not new, they're old, but yeah, I mean,
It's
but
oldie.
this, yeah,
Yep.
look, oldie newly, you know what I'm saying? With this person, it was like, yo, my whole feeling and mentality completely swifted on that. And I was
Right.
asking myself, my friend was asking me this, and of course I was talking to you about it, and I'm asking myself, I'm like, yo, what is going on here? Because my whole
Yeah.
premise and thought process has
Everything switched up.
completely shifted. I was like,
Right.
ooh, I'm taken back by it by myself. I was like, nah, this ain't it. This ain't it. And then as time goes on, it became more and more stronger and the more and more like assertive and solidified in a way that I wanted to be 100% monogamous with this person. And I mean, like, that's okay. That's cool. Don't get it twisted. I'm like
Right.
that, but I'm like that to a certain T. You know what I mean? A monogamous
Right.
Jason, yeah, whatever. But anyways, a monogamous Jason, so to speak. I don't know how I would put it, but it was like I'm never one to step out. But it was
Monogamous adjacent.
yeah, because it's like I'm with you. Listen, I'm together with you. I'm gonna treat you right. I'm gonna be with you 100%. I'm gonna focus my time and energy on you because that's who I commit to. However,
Right.
on the off chance, few drinks hit me, or I don't know, some hot looking chick that looks like a celebrity, or that that specific type where I'm like, yo, if she's like this, that, and the third, and she come across my way and she's like, "What's up?" and I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, hey, listen, not to be rude with you, I'm gonna take this offer for just that one night. But it doesn't mean I want to be with that person. It's just that. But then it's like as I'm interacting with this person, I'm like, all of that thought process, all of that feeling was like out the window, and I was like,
Right.
this is it. And I'm so beside myself about it
Right.
because I agree with the whole monogamy and the whole. I agree with the monogamy and I agree with the polyamorous and I agree that there's people that just need to date because you're not really in the space for that. And the reason I say we're not in this, like I said, I'm still single. I just came in contact with this person. I'm still single, but my feelings feel this way. But I'm not here. I know here is different. So I'm aware of my feelings for this person, but I also know my position. And so it's like I'm still single, but I understand now why, for me, that was always a thought process with me when it came to dating women and
Right.
when it came to like being with people, is because I never came across that person that made me feel the way that
Hmm.
this person does.
They
Now,
weren't meeting all of your needs.
and they're meeting it in a way that is like effortless. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, I know
It's
that feeling.
completely. It's like they ain't gotta try to do nothing. We just like, yo, you be around them and y'all just vibe, chill,
It's
crack
easy.
jokes,
Yeah, yeah.
easy. And it's like, and the biggest fear about that is like, I could be feeling this way and this individual could not be. But then it's like navigating to that. How do you like separate your mind from your heart to that? Because you know your position, but your heart is like, nah, bro, this is different. But you know your position mentally, and it's
Right.
like, how do you deal with the fact of your old ways? I mean, I could simply easily just go back and date with the sense of like helping, building, nurturing, and helping other people grow because I love to help people. I love people. I love talking to people. I love interacting with people. And
Yeah.
dating in the romantic sense is no different from that. It's just that I'm dating you, and it comes with a lot of romantic things and money being spent. But it comes with me making a person feel special and needed and grow. And then when they're done, they're done. When they're done with me, they're done. And obviously, it does hurt. But then at the same point in time, I move on so quickly, and it's the reason I move on so quickly is because one, I'm still looking for that person, and I may have found that person, and then two, it's the job is done. You set
Right.
yourself up to be a nice person that no matter what, the person that moves on from you, you want, like I said in our last podcast, once you're done with me, once we're no longer together, I need you to be with somebody who's either going to treat you like I treated you or better than me.
Right.
Because I don't care what anybody says, there's always going to be an individual that would treat you better than the last person you were with or treat you somewhat the same. But and when I and this is like if you're coming into a situation where it's not like if you're coming out of a non-toxic situation, that's what I mean.
Right.
If you're coming into a situation with somebody and they're love and affection, and for some reason it just didn't work out, but they're great people. But then you come across somebody who's exactly the same, and they go up. That feeling and that notion that they give you goes up by a little bit, or by 10%, 100%, or whatever it may be. I'm happy for you in that sense because
Right.
the last thing I want is for anybody to be with me and then revert to somebody less than me of how I'm going to treat them. Because then I feel like I have failed as a person, even though it's not my burden to bear, but I still
Right.
failed as a person. So it's really interesting to dive into a topic like this when you're going through the motions every single day about being polyamorous, about being open, about being single, and just navigating the whole dating scene is very different. It's really different because when people have trauma in their issues in their lives, I ain't gonna front. There are some people I'd invested in still. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna work with you. You see, you're a good person. I'm gonna work with you. It's enough for me to take in. And there's other people. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna work with you from afar because you got
Right.
a lot going on. Like
Right.
you don't need that side. I'm not capable, mentally and emotionally capable to give you that side by side support. That's not for me. However, I can do it like 100-yard shotgun pass from 100 yards away. I got you. I see you. But and with other people, it's so much. And with other people, it's different. Where you're like, I can be behind you to support you, and then with this person, it's like I could be beside you and rock with you through all that you're going through.
Right.
And
I
like
want
I
to walk
said,
with you. Yeah.
yeah, and like I said, and it was like that was another thing that was for me that was a little bit different because it was like, yeah, nah, that's like, yo, it's like, yo, you got a lot going on, and the old me would have been like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna holler at me when you like, yeah, when you good yourself. Like, I don't mean to be that guy, but and it was just like, oh my god, I'm really, I'm really into this. Okay, I'm really going in on this person, and that wasn't my intent. That was not my initial approach to it. It just
Right.
happened, and it just fell in, and it just took off like like the speed of light.
And it was
Where
comfortable and easy and
it was comfortable, easy. Time was going by so fast. At the same point in time, it really wasn't going by fast. It was just
yeah.
like really
It's
going
like
by
y'all are in
fast.
your little bubble, just
Yeah,
all
and
by
it was
yourselves.
going like it was going so fast. Like one day felt like a week felt like months, and then it was just like, yo, it was taking off too fast.
Yeah.
Over it, and and for a lot of people, listen, it is very nervous. It is very nervous to be in that situation with somebody in both parties alike. Whereas some are going to walk in and lean into it more, others are
Right.
going to push back because it's it's unfamiliar territory. And let's never forget, we all coming from some place of trauma, because no matter what age you are, your all of your relationships, all the people you've interacted in your life made you who you are right now. You're gonna be tough. You're gonna keep your feelings to your chest. You're not gonna open up to people more. You're gonna basically, it's like we post everything about like not telling people our business, obviously, don't listen to people, obviously, and all of these things. And then when you got the right people in your circle, you can tell them everything. They're gonna support you, push you through.
Right.
And then when you tell the wrong people in your circle, you're gonna see them. And so it's like we can choose to withhold all of our things within ourselves and continue to maintain unnecessary relationships with people because they're negative. No, what you do is you continue to share your goals, dreams, and aspirations, your love, feelings, and all that with people and those that support and understand and come at you correctly versus those that are negative and all that. You rather know who you're dealing with right now than to basically find out about them later on in life.
Right.
And then you can make your decision amicably to separate or keep them at a distance or continue to mess with them. But if you continue to mess with them, I strongly suggest once you know who they are, you act accordingly. You treat them how you're supposed to treat them. You mess with them how you're supposed to mess with them. You don't go into all the details with them, and they will find their way out of your life. Whatever religion you believe in, your religion will help you guide, will help you be your guide in helping you find your way out of your life, those people out of your life. And in the midst of me over talking about this whole polyamorous situation, triangle thing,
You're just really passionate about it.
yo, I am. I am. Listen, I love love, and I'm big on it. And I love people that I love. I love to see people be married, and I love to see people in relationship. But at the same point in time, I know for a fact you can't put nothing past nobody in a relationship. I understand that going in,
Yeah.
but my heart is always going to be different. My heart is a hopeless romantic. It's a hopeless romantic by default. Too much sitcom television and stuff like that. But my heart is a hopeless romantic. So it's like I'm always going to be that person that loves love and want to explore it and find it. And my journey in finding it is, one to say the least, challenging and full of trials and tribulations and heartache. But I tell myself that, hey, if it was easy, everybody would do it. And if it ain't hard, then it ain't meant it. It's not necessarily if it ain't hard, it ain't meant to be. It's more like the King Arthur's tale of Lady Guinevere, or the Knight's Tale of your Cinderella, and all of that stuff, where you don't know the person, but you're going through X, Y, and Z to basically search and seek out that person. For those of you that watch Frozen, for those of you that watch what is it, Aladdin, all those shows that where you're just basically your journey into finding a romantic partner is not going to be paved, and it's not going to be easy. You're going to be forged into a weapon, steel, chair, spoon, whatever it may be. You're going to be forged. And by the time you're done, you're going to be in a good place with the right person. And the right person will come to you when you realize that, I would say, when seconds turn into days and days turn into minutes. No, when seconds turn into days, or seconds turn into
Minutes.
minutes. There you go. Seconds turn into minutes, minutes turn into hours, hours into days, and so forth and so on. Where
Right.
it feels like you guys are moving at the speed of light. That is the person that you need to continuously. So I would say lean in on, because it's very difficult, because it's hard. It's a hard thing to swallow, especially when we're coming from our traumatic places where we're questioning everything about it. But it is, and I only say this because I'm growing, and I had to go through these motions and these highs and lows myself to understand the concept of that. And but one thing I will say: never ever let anybody peer pressure you to be with somebody because they're nice.
And I'm going to take that and circle it back around to a whole bunch of things you said. But the gist of all the things that you said, in terms of what I'm talking about, is situational polyamory and situational monogamy, where people are polyamorous not because they desire to be polyamorous, but because they're meeting people that don't meet their needs. And instead of saying, hey, this person isn't meeting my needs, I'm going to shift this relationship into something else and then go look for that person that meets my needs. They choose to keep this person around and then find all these extra people, that whether that's cheating or whether that's dating multiple people at the same time, whatever that dynamic is. But even though their heart's desire, their soul's desire is to be in a one-on-one monogamous romantic relationship. That's like my idea of situational poly, like what you were talking about. I'm dating all these people and I'm okay with them being poly as long as they don't bring anybody home and get anybody pregnant, but your soul's desire is to be in a monogamous relationship. You realize that you hadn't connected or reconnected with that right person, right?
Yeah.
And then situational monogamy, where you're in this monogamous relationship, but you recognize that you want more.
Yeah.
That this person, while you love them and they do meet needs, they don't meet your primary needs. There is still this part of you that feels like, for lack of a better word, it's dying in this relationship because your primary needs, all of your primary needs aren't being met. And yet you're staying in this relationship. You're in situational monogamy because, oh, I said yes. Oh, we've been in it for so long. Oh, we have this, whatever, 5,000 reasons why we stay in these situations that we know in our hearts and our souls aren't right for us, right? So, yes, there's those three types of people I talked about, the ones that are monogamous, the ones that are polyamorous, and the ones that just need to be by themselves and do community service.
Yeah.
But then there's also situational polyamory and situational monogamy, and I feel like a large majority of our culture, of our society, is in those situationships versus walking out the way that they were designed to exist in relationships. And it's
Yeah.
hard.
No, it definitely is hard. I think about a bunch of people that I see in relationships, and I just look at them like, yeah, you know what? I'm not feeling it. But you like it, I love it. But I'm not feeling it, and it's because it's
Right.
like and then I'm not, and people say, oh, you haven't been in a relationship long enough. You don't know what it's like to put in the work and this, that, and the third. I'm like, I hear you, but at the same point in time, it's like, yeah, when you and the people that have said that to me are not either not together or they're going through some shit themselves. But so sorry, they're going through some things themselves. Oh my god, party. They're going through some things themselves, and it's just like no, but it's just like I've dated a lot to basically compound a whole bunch of stuff into like decades of dating and being in relationships with myself and with people, and it is very important for people to understand that just because you want it and it ain't right. I mean, I'm not sure if everybody's situation kind of took off on like how my situation is mentally and emotionally, but I've seen where people get with people and they're because they're a nice person and you're infatuated with them and you're infatuated with the moment. They're they like you for the struggle, they like you for the success, or they like you for that time, and yet you hang on to that.
Right.
And there was a bunch of videos I posted on my Instagram and I share with people where I forgot this guy's name. He's a pastor though, but he said something about like you could be a whole package, but just be delivered to the wrong address. And I was like,
Right.
that's deep because it's true though. You can be a whole package, and you're being delivered to the wrong address, and you mistaking a romantic relationship with just building, with just basically an opportunity for you to learn more about yourself
Right.
through this individual, and this individual is to learn more about themselves through you. And
Right.
that is the assignment that whatever you believe in, God, Buddha, Krishna, the universe, whether you are an atheist, that is your path at this point in time. When that time comes to expire, don't fight it, man. Just go with it. I know everything in us is easier said than done. Everything in us wants to fight for it and make it work and this, that, and the third. But it's like a journey and a destination, lighting a candle. The fire is great. It's burning and it's providing life and resources, but when it dies out, it dies out. And in some situations, the candle's forever burning. And
Mm.
that is what we all deserve, and that is what we all are that is what we all are literally entitled to. As long as we hold breath on this earth, we are entitled to a relationship and a love of a candle that is never going to burn out.
But see, a lot of people don't have that same thought process. There, because I truly believe that there are different types of love.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother conversation. But in short, there's people who, I love you, and I love, my way of showing love is being committed to this relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to, you asked me to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and go get you some ice cream. I'm going to wake up in the morning and get you some ice cream because I'm committed to this relationship. Do I want to do it? Heck no. But I'm committed to this relationship, right?
Exactly.
And then there are those people who show love, or they have this loving connection that's so deep they could stay up till 5 o'clock in the morning talking about anything and everything, right?
Yeah.
And then there are those people that love is so passionate they get in the same room and they can't keep their hands off of each other. And
Yeah.
then there are people that the love is so passionate that they can have these, and like two different types of conversations. One conversation we can talk about our dreams and our goals and our the future and all of these envisioning things, and the other part of that conversation is that deep, vulnerable, I'm sharing all of my deepest, darkest, hurtful moments with you, and you're sitting with me in it, and you're embracing me, and you're holding me and allowing me to be vulnerable. Like, there are so many different types of love, right? But with all of that, I think the thing to remember, and I don't remember if I posted this on social media or not, but there's a difference between connection and attachment. And I think that's what you're talking about. That sense of love that's like passionate and fiery, and it continues to grow. That's connection. You can't make connections. They either are or they aren't. And if
Mm-hmm.
you don't have a connection, you can't pretend your way or work your way into a connection. You can
Force your
create an
way.
attachment,
Yeah.
but it will never be the same as a connection, right?
Yeah. No, and I agree. And I've been in those situations where to this day I still keep in contact with those people because they're good people. But
Right.
we're good peoples. We're good peoples to each other 100%. But like you said, there's the attachments and there's the connections. And unfortunately, the connections supersede the attachments. And every now and again, what I may perceive to be a connection may not be. And every now and again, what they may perceive to be a connection may not be.
Right.
It's like, and the question I ask anybody who's got an answer to this or not, because I don't know, I'm still working on it myself. But it's like, when do you give in, or when do, because I feel like everybody is afraid of getting hurt, and so they push away those connections because it's like, I've been hurt a lot before. I have, and I'm pretty sure all of us have. We've all been hurt. But then every now and again, you come across that one individual that's like, yo, this hurt will be devastating to me. I ain't gonna do it. I'm
Yeah,
not.
it's scary.
I'm not gonna mess with you because you gonna rock my world. I'm
Right.
strong. Don't get it twisted. I'm strong. I'm tough. I can go through anything. I'm good. But I'm not finna mess with you because if it goes great, it's gonna. I know it's gonna be great. It's gonna be wonderful, beautiful. But on the off chance it goes bad, I'm gonna be devastated. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
I'm gonna be crumbling to pieces. I'm gonna be set on fire, burnt into ashes, cremated type joint. How do you put that part of you back together type joint? And that's hard for a lot of people to swallow and to take in because unfortunately that's the part of the whole thing of love and romance, man. It's a game of Russian roulette. You don't know when you're gonna get that bullet, but you sitting at this table playing, and the question you got to ask yourself: are you asking the right questions? Are you even talking to the right person? Are you even
Right.
connecting with them on the right level? Or I mean, they're nice and they meet your needs, and they're kind, and they're sweet, and they're loving, but are you connecting with them?
Right.
Are you like? And it's like, do you think about them? Do they think about you? And the one thing I heard a lot of people say, um, don't ever tell somebody you love them first because when you do, you lose. I can't be that person playing that game. I can't, yo. It's like, why are we playing these games with people, yo? Because if
Yeah.
you really got to play that game with somebody, then right then and there, that ain't for you. The whole situation is not for you. It's not and void because what you're doing is you're playing the game with somebody that's literally not your person. Because when it is your person, all the rules you've ever told yourself, all the things you've ever thought, known, cared about, and operated in will change. Your whole dynamic. And if you find yourself still acting the same way, still thinking the same way from high school, middle school, college, all of those are your single days, and you still have that same mentality about love and romance, don't do this, don't do that, yo, you ain't met the right person. Take a deep look at yourself and ask yourself, are you wasting their time or are you here or are you accepting the assignment? Because the assignment means you here for a temporary time. That means you here to build, they here to build you. Y'all here to
Right.
build each other, heal each other, and grow. We're preparing each other for our next relationship. We're preparing each other to be the best version of ourselves for the next individual. And we have to understand that we have to accept that assignment. But it's hard for a lot of people to accept that assignment. It's hard for a lot to take that assignment in and come to terms with that because it's people look at it, oh, I'm not wasting time. You're not wasting time. You ain't got nothing better to do. While you're not doing anything, you could be focusing on a whole bunch of different things, and that's cool. Focusing on your career, focusing on school and all that, that's great. At the same point in time, it's not teaching you how to love. It's not teaching you how to be with somebody.
Mhm.
It's not teaching you how to connect with somebody. It's not teaching you how to have a genuine, real love connection with somebody, a conversation with somebody. You can do all of the things in the world to distract you from that whole aspect. But when it's all said and done, you will want to be with somebody who's going to accept you and you're going to accept them. And you don't want somebody to be with you because, oh, I'm getting older. I'm not getting any younger. Oh, they're so nice. They do nice things. Or, you know, I just feel like I'm just tired and this is safe. You don't want to be somebody's safety net. You don't want to be somebody's brand muffin. You don't want to be anybody's like. You want to be somebody's fire. You want them to light a fire in you, and you light a fire in them. And I've seen a lot of relationships where that isn't reciprocated. Where one individual is the fire starter, and the others are just coasting. They're waiting for an opportunity for something better to come along, or they're waiting for an opportunity in some cases they're waiting for the fire to come in. They're waiting for that sense of spark to ignite them to fuel that relationship to the highest level, and they're
Mhm.
just waiting and they're waiting and they're going through the motions and they're playing the role. And there's other people where I see them where it's like, yo, it is taking off like flight. It is taking off like a speed of light, and it is beautiful. It is a star. It's a meteorite, and it's just going, and you see the trail, and it's taking off. And those are the moments. That's where it's very beautiful. And those are the moments where it's just like, you know what I mean. You really enjoy it, and you really embrace it.
Are you reading?
Yeah. Yeah. Are you reading it too as well?
Oh, I already read it. That's why I
Oh,
put it on the
okay.
screen.
Yeah, cool. Okay. You want to talk about it?
Well, I was going to comment on it. Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's Christopher says if you can't say I love you to someone you actually love because you don't want to be first, you're playing chess and not trying to embrace the love and future. I completely agree with that.
Definitely,
Um,
100%.
Especially the way that your person described it, like that you're going to lose or whatever. Like, love isn't a win lose thing. If you have that mentality, you've already lost because
Pretty
you are
much.
on the same team, right? So you should be working together to get to this shared place, not it's not a competition. Um, and I think that a lot of times that not a lot of times it comes from a place of fear.
No, it definitely comes from a place of fear, but then it's like it's that fear, and we all have these fears and these traumas in our lives that we're getting into relationships with people. Okay, cool. We're not going to be 100% healed. We're not. Okay, and let's just say we're not, right? But
Right.
then you get into a relationship with somebody, or you're starting to do stuff with people in the relationship aspect of it. It's important to basically communicate that to them, and it's important to see if they're going to basically want. They should also be given that choice to make that decision if they want to be involved in a situation like that, and if not, then it's okay. But it is very important that we are able to talk to people about our deepest darkest fears and in our trauma and stuff like that. Don't be like, oh, it's too soon. It's too soon. You're going to scare them off. That's what you want. You want to scare off the bad people. You want to scare off the wrong people. The right people going to look at you. They're not going to take pity on you. They're going to see you for your greatness. They're going to see you for your magnificent self, king and queen. They're going to still see you as a king. They still going to see you as a queen. Despite everything you have ever been through, you are not broken. You are not fragile. You are not weak. They still see strength and power in you. And everybody deserves that. And to say that it's too soon to impose that on somebody, or it's too soon to basically open up to people like that because, oh, you're afraid they're going to throw it in your face, then so be it. If they throw it in your face, now you know they're not the one
Not for
for you.
yeah.
If they like, I've seen people be in relationships with people, and then they get into an argument, then boom, they throw shit.
Oh yeah, I've had that happen to
They throw
me.
stuff in they throw stuff in people's faces. I'm like, yo, that's cold blooded. Like you don't
Yeah.
do that. No, it's like when we having like when we're having conversations about stuff. It's like there's a difference though. It's like when you bring up something in a situation. Oh well, I kind of felt like it's this in the past versus oh well, this is why you this way because that person or that person,
Yeah.
or you get
Yeah.
this. It's like, nah, bro, you ain't doing that. That's not cool. And I, for one, people say I break up with women too quick or I end things too quickly with relationships. Nah, if it's right for me, it's right for me. But I'm not gonna stay with you because everybody's doing it. You're too old. I'm
It's
40 years
trendy.
old. You know what I'm saying? I'm 40 years old, no kids, never married, and all of that. But it's like that's not my plan. That was never my plan. I didn't want to be this
Mhm.
guy at this age. I actually wanted to be with somebody and be like, yo, tell grandkids and tell my kids how I met their mother. But unfortunately, I never came across anybody like that
Right.
until recently. But it's even then, it's like, yo, having a conversation, being vulnerable with people is very, very, very important. And if they're gonna accept you at your vulnerability and know who you are, your true self, whatever trauma it may be, that's it. And a lot of people get very jaded by the past. Oh, nah, people tell your business. I don't want people in my business. I'm not talking to people. I'm not broadcasting it to everybody. I'm broadcasting it to one individual. Now, if you take my business and you broadcast it, I feel betrayed. I feel hurt. However, now you show me who you are versus you being the snake lying in the bushes versus you being the wolf in wolf clothing
Right.
versus you
Sheep's
being
clothing. Yeah.
yeah, versus you being somebody that's not who you say you are. That's not who you are meant to be for me. I need to see you in your actions, and your actions will dictate your character to me.
Right.
And I'm not gonna play these games with people. If I'm feeling you, I'm feeling you. If I'm loving you, I'm loving you. If I'm deep within you, I'm gonna say how I feel because I'm not promised tomorrow, and I'm not guaranteed anything but my breath and every day I wake up. That's my guarantee for today, and I'm gonna say how I feel and when I feel it. And if it comes out of love, great. And if it comes out of hard truth and constructive criticism, then so be it. But at the same point in time, I'm not coming at people on a malicious intent. But that's me. We can't teach character development, but you know who teaches character development? Time, interacting with people, being around people, talking to people. You know what I'm saying? When you're trying to be a lone wolf and you stay by yourself, you keep to yourself, bro, you ain't really learning nothing though. You know what I'm saying? You're not really absorbing anything. As you stay in your one horse town and you're interacting with people who've traveled the world, you will learn and see their point of view differently from yours because all you know is this. And refusing to be honest and truthful to yourself about your feelings with individuals, and I mean directly. We're not talking about metaphorically. We're not talking about speaking in code. We're talking about saying exactly how you feel when you feel it, and your fears and your fears and doubts about it, and just sitting there with that individual and just talking about it will surprise you and help you grow your connection with that individual even more so. But the more we try to hold ourselves back and pretend, oh nah, I'm not finna say I love you first. Oh nah, I'm not finna give her my heart. Or nah, I ain't finna give him my heart. I'm a whole thug out here, this, that, and the third. You run the risk of basically missing out on a blessing, like everybody may say.
Yeah.
But then you also end up putting yourself in situations with people that that they should have never been in your circle to begin with. But like they say, good girls like bad guys, and bad guys like good girls, and it's for the wrong reasons. But it's like, yo, and don't get me wrong, does it work in some cases? It do, but then it's not the good girl bad guy situation. It's the connection. It's the fact that you can basically be 100% open and honest with an individual. This 100% like I love you. I'm going to be here for
Right.
you, and it's not me saying that to them. It's them saying it to me, and us saying it to each other, and we're saying it every single day. And I remember I was dating somebody, and they would say words of affirmation is a great thing. That's my love language, right? And somebody would say that to me, and I just look at them like, why are you saying that? What's up? What's wrong? That's me coming from a hurt place as a child. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? You know what I mean? All that trauma, but it's just like, yo, I'm learning myself that I need to take that in better, respond differently to it. Not everybody's out to get you. That's me knowing, being self-aware of my triggers, and also communicating that to individuals that this is a trigger. I'm sorry. Let me fix on it. My bad. No.
So coming back around. You got a lot on your chest today, sir. I feel like you just need an event session today. Like we don't
I
even
think
need a
so. I think
topic. You
so.
just need to sit and vent about all the stuff you got going on
Oh,
in
oh,
here.
jeez. Ah,
Yeah.
man, group sessions. Yeah,
Yeah,
great.
I feel like that's what you need today. But we do have a topic, and it is beyond monogamy. So we're gonna circle the
Circle back.
wagons back around.
Yeah.
So with that, what when you were talking about being yourself and being authentic, that brought up for me like what challenges and benefits are there to non-monogamy?
Well, for the non-monogamy relationships is it's I would say the benefits of it is learning something new, if that's you or not. It's
Right.
going outside of your realm, outside of your normal space, and trying something new. You may like it. You may feel like this is you. And if it is you, that's okay. Embrace that. Don't be
Yeah.
something that the church told you to be. Don't be something that your parents are. Don't be something that everybody told you to be. If you a non-monogamous person, embrace that lifestyle. Embrace that world, man. Don't let anybody buckle you into something that you ain't that's really not you. Be who you are, whatever that may be. And those that know you will love you and accept you. And those that do not, hey, this is why there's a recycling bin on every laptop, phone. And
Oh gosh,
you
this is
just
recycling people these days. Okay.
you put them in the trash bin or the recycling bin. Either way, listen, they gonna rock with
No,
you.
we don't
Listen,
throw people away.
no, but it's not like saying you gonna throw them away. I mean, it's a recycling bin. They probably can come back renewed. I don't know, whatever.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? However a person may want to see the metaphor now. But yeah, like benefits of being in a non-monogamous relationship is one, if you're a monogamous person, it's teaching you different ways of loving because the person that is in it
Mm-hmm.
is showing you something that you have never been aware of. It is very uncomfortable, but then you also have to you have to ask yourself, why does this make you uncomfortable? Ask yourself these questions and have that conversation with that individual, as I did in the past. Right, I've been in a polyamorous relationship. I've been in a non-monogamous relationship. You know what I mean. I've been in an open relationship. I've been in a lot of different levels of relationships, and they all have taught me something differently.
Yeah.
And it was like, I don't like how this feels, and I'm asking myself, why don't I like how this feels? So I'm having a conversation with the individual about how this makes me feel and why do I feel this way. And I've been blessed for everybody to be understandable, coachable, and also teachable. And there's that. It's like you learn a lot.
Yeah.
You learn like there's different facets of loving somebody. And are you able to love a person one way? Are you able to love a person in multitude of ways?
Right.
In different levels of ways. And being in a non-monogamous relationship allows you to that because there's people that are psychosexuals, pansexuals, and there's a whole bunch of sexual things.
All the sexuals. Yeah.
Yeah, a whole lot of labels, and it's like I think I've dated almost all but one. I don't know. Actually, I think there's like 20 of them or 15. I'm lying. I ain't hit that many numbers. I think I hit like five at best. I think I hit like five at best, right? But it was like, yo, dating all of those different people, man. I learned so much
Yeah.
about myself and so much about what it means to be in love and what it means to be in a monogamous relationship and what it means not to be in one and what it means to be open about not being in a monogamous relationship. And it was like, I look back at it and I laugh and I enjoy the knowledge that I have and I enjoy sharing it with other people, as you can see. And it was just fun though. It was fun. It was like it was just so much learning. So much learning.
Yeah, and that like I truly believe relationships are mirrors. Like we go into relationships or people are brought into our lives or we're brought into other people's lives in order to teach us something, to show us something about ourselves, the world, and the other person. And so I think when it comes to non-monogamy, I think the beauty of it is that you get an opportunity to really deep dive into who you are. Like you have to be self-aware to be in a non-monogamous relationship. Like you have to be able to say, "Oh, I'm feeling this kind of way and I'm having these kind of triggers." And okay, let me sit with myself. What is it, like you said, what is it about this situation or this person being with this other person that is triggering me? And how do I work on me? Because it's easy to say, like in monogamy, this person is talking to this other person and it's making me upset. So I'm gonna tell this person to stop talking to that other person because this person's mine. And I'm like, No, that's not the solution to the problem. The problem is to sit with yourself and figure out what is it about this situation that you need to work on, right? Now I can understand if the person is being disrespectful or something. That's a
Yeah,
whole other
yeah.
story. But
We're not talking
right,
about the disrespectful people. We're talking about
right,
the people that just say hi, or the people that just
right.
that are just having a
Just
non
friendly people.
just
Yes.
friendly conversation, and your
Right.
trigger is to automatically be like, "Yo, I'm gonna punch you in the throat because you talking to way too many females."
Right. Like
That,
that.
you know what I mean? It's,
Relationships are mirrors. Okay, let me sit down and look at myself. Listen, what do I have going on up in here?
yeah, so it's like, yeah,
And up in here.
it's a whole bunch of things, and it was like, yo, I remember I was dating somebody, and it was like, yo, and it was one of those people that actually taught me that oh, you come off as a very jealous person, and I was like, for the longest, I didn't see myself that way, didn't, but it took that one individual who I was dating at the time, and they were like, bye, so then it was like, ooh, that's different, but I like that person,
They were
and I was feeling.
bisexual. Is that what you're saying? Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were done. So it's like they with me, but then they over here picking up chicks at the same one time, and I'm just like, yeah, nah, bro, this ain't. But I never thought myself to be a jealous person, and then they pinpointed it, and I had to sit down with myself. But like I said, I was blessed to be with people that like
Right.
were open enough to talk to me about it,
Right.
and open enough for me to talk to them about my feelings, and asking myself why I feel this way. And I had to make some serious hard changes, and it was like, do I want to change for this person, or do I want to change for myself? Because it's easy to say you're going to change for people. Nah, you don't change for people. You change for yourself. You adjust yourself because it is a part of growth.
Right.
What are you trying? Like everybody's always, oh, I'm grown, I'm growing, I'm different. But are you growing in one way, or are you growing in multitude facets of way?
Right.
Because as you grow an adult, you're growing. You're growing in age. Fine. Are you growing in wisdom? Are you growing in knowledge? Are you growing mentally, emotionally, and spiritually?
Right.
Are you putting yourself in situations and knowing that you are? This is a learning process. This isn't something that's going to be detrimental to your health. This is a learning process. This is growth. Are you going to grow from this, or are you going to remain the same?
Right.
And it's the challenge of being in a non-monogamous relationship. People that are 100% monogamous, I'm not saying they gonna miss out, but you're doing something that's always been the same, and you're not challenging yourself.
That's true.
You're remaining in the same situation. And I'm not saying it ain't working for everybody out there. I'm not saying for those of you that's out there that's in that monogamy relationship, ain't missed a step not one time. Hey, bravo to you. I love it.
Right. Right.
Everybody else though out there, we're questioning ourselves, we're guessing, and we're second guessing our thoughts and our feelings and our emotions with people. Ask yourself, ask that person, have that conversation. And most importantly, if you feel like you can't talk to that person, then you really need to evaluate your
It's
relationship.
a sign. Yep.
You really need to evaluate relationships. Because if a person is not trying to listen to you, but they're reacting just to react, they're waiting for you to finish so they can respond with a reaction of a negative light.
Right.
Then yeah, it's whether you and I hate to say this, I'm a big fan of marriage. Whether you married or not, have that conversation. Have that conversation. Y'all need to sit down and reevaluate. Are we the right people for each other, or do we get into the situation assuming one thing or another? Because like I said, in a non-monogamous relationship, it allows you to change. It allows you to adapt.
Grow.
People grow and they change. When you're in a monogamous relationship, that person is that person now. 4 years from now, they become a mother. They become a father. Now you're not a single person. You're a married person. Now you're a parent with a person. Now you're a parent with a car. Now you're a parent with a mortgage. Now you're not only a parent, but you're a husband and a wife with all of these levels of responsibility. So every time anything changes in your life, it is also being a sense of growth. But then when you're a monogamous person, I'm not saying that everybody can't do it, but it's like it is more so challenging because now you got to look at the individual next to you, and as they're growing and they're changing, you got to ask yourself, do you like who they're changing into? Do they like who you're changing into? Because you can go from the monogamous person that's having fun all day with the family and this, that, and the third, and then later on in life, you become a recluse.
Right.
You become a stoic. You become a you know what I mean. You become a person that's like a shut in. and your partner is they still got a lot of life in them and they want to go out and they want to go do these things, and you're like, nah, I'm good. You can go by yourself. You set yourself up for somebody else to come in that place and entertain them for that
Yeah.
time being. Entertain them for that time being. It ain't gonna be for a long time, but it's gonna be for a short time. But it's gonna be a time. So I say for me that monogamy, non-monogamous relationships were definitely a learning experience for me. Definitely a learning experience. I encourage everybody to give it a shot. I mean, of course, everybody does it when they're we're not together. When we're together, we're together. When we're not, we're not. Yeah,
Everybody
that's
doesn't do that.
yeah. Not everybody does it. Not everybody does that. But like I said, I've been around different people. So like when we together, we together. When we not, we not. And that conversation is had. But then it's like, yo, really have those conversations with people. Understand who they are and try to learn them, because every day we learning and we growing. So you gotta.
Right.
I'm not the same person I was in high school, and neither are you, Jordan. Neither are any of us. We're
Right.
always growing. We're new people now. We're different people.
Definitely are. Yeah.
Yeah, so we doing things differently. We moving in different ways and formats, and it's very interesting to see how that dynamic unfolds for a lot of people, and that is definitely one of the things I would say about non-monogamous relationships were always fun for me.
And I think that's something to consider, like when you're talking about growth, is that while everybody is growing, not everybody wants to grow. There are some people who are perfectly content with where they are right now, and growth is very uncomfortable and undesirable. And you have to look at yourself if you're in a dynamic with that person or that kind of person and be able to say, am I content in a dynamic where I have a partner that has no desire to grow? And
Mhm.
if this partner has no desire to grow, are they going to be okay with me continuing to grow? Is this a safe environment for me to grow in, even if they choose not to? Right? I think that comes back to that, the importance of communication and being able to have those conversations and being able to say, yeah, okay, we're growing in two different directions, but the soil is still fertile, so we can just be in two different directions together. Or recognizing, hey, we're growing in two different directions and this just ain't it. And that's okay too.
No, it is. As you were saying that, my mind was looking at it as like, okay, cool, we're growing, and then I look at it like, all right. So think of a greenhouse. You got a multitude of plants, right? And now let's say the person you with is the tree in the center of that greenhouse. Now that greenhouses don't move; they stay in one place, don't they? So now this tree that was rooted in the foundation of this greenhouse is growing, and it's growing exponentially, and it's getting bigger. What do you do as the person who is comfortable not growing?
Yeah.
You are the greenhouse. The person you are with is the tree. Now, when things are not being made to adjust, the tree breaks through the greenhouse and destroys it.
Or
Now,
somebody comes and decides to chop down the tree.
in that part, now that is not a good option.
But it's a reality. That's what you're
No, it
growing
is a
and this is
reality.
really
It is
uncomfortable
a
for me,
reality.
so I'm gonna try and chop you back down to a
Yeah,
comfortable
there's that
size.
reality. But for me, I look at it like this. All right, cool. So now we're the greenhouse. So this person is growing exponentially.
Hmm.
So I'm the greenhouse. So the tree is a vital source to everything around it. So I gotta expand the hole. I gotta expand the branches of that greenhouse. The house is still the same, but now the roofing of it is moved open up more
Yeah, I
and
need to
allows.
expand. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, the tree still. So people, I would say that's a weird analogy,
No,
but
it's good.
you know what I'm saying? People probably need to look at themselves as a greenhouse and your partner as a tree growing. You don't want to cut down the tree because the tree is a beautiful tree. It's
Not
a wonderful.
necessarily, maybe not the greenhouse, but you're the farmer or the planter or the person growing it, because the
No, because
greenhouse
but
doesn't do
like
anything
no,
of its
because it's like
own.
the farmer and the planter. The farmer and the planter, they go in and out. They're moving. The greenhouse is stationary, and we're talking about people who don't want to grow. We're talking about people who are
Okay. Okay, I see what you're saying here.
they are the greenhouse. They are comfortable being in the house. They don't want to. They don't want to level up. They don't want to. They don't want to expand wide. They just want to stay right here. But then you want the tree, and you want the tree. You love the tree, but the tree is growing. But you love the tree. So without disrupting your comfortability, without disrupting your stagnant place, the house has to be shifted. It has to be molded. It has to be made to suit the tree as it
But
grows.
that's still disruption because now you busting a hole in the top of the greenhouse.
And that is disruption, but then it's like a minute sense of disruption because the door into the greenhouse is the same. The dimensions from width to length is still the same. However, the ceiling is opening out more. That's it. And you got to look at it like, yo, it's a small thing for something big to grow out of. It's weird.
I am
It's weird. It's different.
struggling with this analogy because I just
No,
see so
but
many
you know what I'm saying? It's
negatives
my
in terms
mind.
of the
It's my mind.
greenhouse.
It's my
But
mind doing. Yeah,
I
my
get
mind
what
doing.
you're saying. I get what you're saying. Yes.
It's different. It's different. It's very different for a lot of people. But I like I said, that's a very scary thing though, because that is like deadly scary for me to be with somebody who's stagnant. And I often ask myself, what am I capable of being a stagnant person like that? And then I look and I'm like, I got my moments of where I'm kind of stagnant, but then I got my
Mm-hmm.
moments where I'm just a random curveball. I'm like, I'm stagnant this
Yeah.
week. I'm stagnant this week, but next week I'm like, hey,
But it's not
let's go
even that you're
skydiving.
stagnant. I mean, because I wouldn't even consider that stagnancy because the reality is plants aren't constantly having this exponential growth spurts, right? There's times when you look at your plant and it looks exactly the same. It doesn't mean it's not growing, it just looks the same, right? But then
Yeah.
there's times where one minute you look at the plant, you come back the next day, and all of a sudden there's a whole flower that grew on it. And you're like, dude, what the heck? I just left here, right? So it's not that you're not growing, it's not that you're stagnant. The growth just isn't always visible, right? And then going back to your greenhouse analogy, that reminded me, some people are just content with living a life without their primary needs met. Because of going back to that commitment to relationships, and for me, it just sounds so sad, but that's the reality. There are some people who are going to say, because I'm committed to this relationship dynamic, even though you're not meeting my primary needs, I'm going to stay here and I'm going to rock it out in martyrdom, and I'm going to sacrifice myself for this relationship dynamic. And it takes a very special type of person to rock that out, because not everybody has the fortitude, that's the word, fortitude, to be in that type of situation. um that's not me. I look at that and I'm like, that's not healthy. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go. But there are some people who want to be that greenhouse with the top busting open and the rain coming in when the storm's coming in, and they're like, but it's okay because I'm still, all the rest of my frames are still up, even though I got this big old gaping hole in the top of me. Um, yeah. So, anyways, with that being said, one of the last things, because we're at 57 minutes, one of the last things I want to talk about is one of the biggest misconceptions or stereotypes I hear about non-monogamy or polyamory is people that think that it's just about sex. And I
Yeah.
think there's a huge difference between polyamory and like concepts like swinging. Like swinging, for me, when I think about swinging, yeah, it's literally just about sex. But for me, polyamory is amory, the like multiple
Yeah.
loves. I love this person. I want to be with this person. I have a connection with this person. I'm not just
Yeah.
going out and collecting bodies and throwing them out the door,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I hear that a lot. People are like, "Oh, well, yeah, it's just they just want to have sex with all these people." So blah blah blah.
Nah, and once again, that's just and once again, I was in that place too of a trigger naive mentality. Because when you got people putting stuff in your ears and they don't understand the ways of the world, they're different people. They're refusing to, because we're all being molded to be something that society wants us to be. It's
Yeah.
like how we were talking about in our last podcast, where social norms and expectations. We've all been programmed. So when you
Right.
come around people who have been free and free thinkers,
It's uncomfortable.
when they come around and they say that polyamory, I said that same thing and I told the girl and she was like, "No, I just like giving love. I love taking care of
I
people, and I
love
love,
love. Yeah.
yeah, and like how I treat you. I'm not going to treat the same person how I treat you."
Right.
And, and then that triggered a whole thing where I'm just like, "Bet I can get on board with
Right.
that.
Because everybody has different needs. And
Yeah, I can
everybody
get on
has
board with
different
that."
things that they want. That you may be with one person, and this person brings out the silly, playful, soft side of me. And this person over here brings out the like deep thinking, I can get all my business plans down. And this person brings out like the sultry, vixen type energy. Like everybody has different needs and everybody has different connections that they bring out in you. Like you don't have just one friend this is my only friend and we're ride or die. No, you have multiple friends and each friend brings something different to your dynamic.
To your table, exactly.
Right.
And it was funny when you said what you said about the whole different people, and it was like that's the one, and that's another benefit of basically being in a non-monogamous relationship when you're
Right.
going around being with different people, because it's like literally, I had to learn not to love this way, only one way.
Right.
If I wanted to be with somebody, I had to be able to adjust how I love.
Yeah,
I
be
had to
open to love.
be
Yeah.
I had to be able to be a Swiss Army knife to love you this way, to love you this way, to love you that
Right.
way,
Right.
and this and the third. And that's what I took from it.
Right.
Everybody else will take it differently, but for me, that's what I took from it. And that's what allowed me to basically even more so be in love with love how I am now. But understanding the dynamic of, like you said, I'm not gonna be your lover and provider, and that's the only way I love you is by providing for you. No, I'm also gonna be capable to provide. I'm also gonna be capable to have soulful conversations,
Right.
meaningful conversations, trustworthy conversations, be
Right.
silly with you on things, talk about things that you are interested in that I may not even give a crap about, but I'm able to tune in,
Right.
effectively tune in, have those discussions, have those debates with you on it, because not only is it because that's who I am or that's who I became, but it's also me looking at a chance for me to grow in every relationship, in every connection with an individual. They are always teaching you to grow every single
Right.
day.
Right. Right. And I think so. In wrapping it up, some ways that we can support and empower people to embrace non-monogamous relationships. Like everybody doesn't have to be monogamous, but how do we as a people, as a society, like how do we start having these conversations and embracing people without the stigma and the shame of, well, the Bible says it's just like this, or my mama says it's just like this, or whatever whoever said about whatever. Like how do we begin to reduce that stigma and empower people to live authentically, whatever that looks like for them, whether that's being a loner, whether that's being monogamous, whether that's being polyamorous, whether that's being a whatever in between. Like, how do we empower that?
And that is one thing, like we're posting live. So anybody has comments and questions and ideas and certain things
Yes.
like that, we will
Let us
definitely
know.
interact, engage, bring it up. Heck, if we get enough, we'll just do a whole segment where we're just talking about those comments and questions and going back over the things that I'd say if we get like 10 people and we weren't able to get back to, or we get 10 people and they had great things and you guys want us to share them on the show, we'd be more than happy to do so and do a whole part two, or not even a part two, just a sharing comments section
Yeah.
segment where we just go over the comments and we talk about it, what these person said and this, that, and the third. And me include you in it, comment wise, or if you want to get on live with us too, that's fine. You know what I mean?
Because we would love to hear what y'all think. This is all about opening up dialogue and discussion so that we can all learn and grow and shift and be our authentic selves, right?
Yes, yes,
That's what it's
yes.
all
I love it.
about. So, with
I
that
love
being
it.
said, do you have any last words?
My most important thing is be yourself, no matter what that may look like. Who cares what other people may think? Who cares what it may look like to them?
Yep.
As long as you yourself are happy, and no matter what comes into your life, it may be a temporary moment of happiness, but genuinely seek out that thing that makes you happy, or that person, or whatever. But most importantly, you got to be happy with yourself first, foremost, obviously.
Yeah.
But be yourself. Be happy with who you are, whether you big, fat, small, chunky, whatever that may be. Be happy with yourself and don't care about what anybody says. Your character too. There's gonna be people out there for you, and like I said, I don't rock with everybody, and not everybody rocks with me. But that's we're all made different. So accepting people for who they are, and like I said, once you know who they are, act accordingly. That's it.
Yeah. And just to piggyback off of that, just be authentic, knowing
Yeah.
yourself, knowing what you need, knowing what you desire, knowing what you don't want, what you don't like, so that you can have those open, vulnerable, uncomfortable conversations with potential partners and build a true or nurture a true connection versus unhealthy attachments and situationships. So, with that being said, we will see you all on the next episode. Until next time, bye.
Bye. Enjoy. Have a great day.